Hi, this is Casey Smith with Forbeyon, coming to you once again with another edition in our video library series. Now, we've gotten a lot of questions and phone calls about the difference in our three product lines. So today what we're going to do is highlight the differences between the three: our flush bound albums, perfect bound books, and linear bound books. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at our flush bound albums. Now, this 10x10 with work by Mark Williams consists of a G2 matte black material, a metal frame cameo, and a luster print cameo. Of course, with all of our albums, we give you the choice of three types of cameos, whether luster, photometallic, or metal. Now, this book is panoramically bound, which means that the binding style that we use consists of us taking one full spread, printing it out, in this case a 20x10, and then mounting it to an archival board and just scoring the center of the paper itself, giving you the complete view without interruption. And of course, with this, we're highlighting work by Mr. Mark Williams. It gives you just a nice full view of the album itself. Now, aside from panoramic binding, we also give you another choice, and that would be split binding. So I'm going to show you another book, an 8x10, that will consist of split binding. Now, this 8x10 book has the G1 cover material and also a metal cameo. Now, this book, with work by Miss Brandy Sutherland out of the San Antonio area, actually shows you what split binding looks like. Again, it's a small 1/8 of an inch gutter that allows you to have that space in between, but we feel in the long run here at Forbeyon that this kind of binding is going to hold up better over time. So this allows you to see the actual difference from panoramic to split binding. There's no difference in cost, just maybe a difference in preference. But again, at Forbeyon, we will encourage you to go with split binding versus panoramic. Now, aside from 10x10 and 8x10 sizes, we also can go to larger sizes, such as your 11x14, or smaller sizes such as the 5.5x7. But we also specialize in one particular size that can only be found in the flush mount family, and that's our big bad 19x7.5. Voila! Now, the 19x7.5 looks great, especially once you open it up and it reveals the 19x15 layout structure. But first, looking at the cover of this book, this is the pinnacle of what we do in terms of high end. We're talking pearl leather G4, and then G2 matte black dual tone strip, as well as a metal cameo. And of course, this also shows you our additional paper option for flush mounts. Not only do we offer luster prints, but we also offer photometallic that has UV coating, but also the linen texture as well. And that linen texture is there for a reason. It actually helps create more air pockets that will allow your book to turn its pages with greater ease. And of course, in this book, we're highlighting the work by one of our favorite people, Mr. Ben Q, who has this wonderful work inside here with some great layouts as well. Like I said, you really get a great dramatic feel when you see the 19x15 layout. So that's an overview of flush mount albums. Now I want to take you to the other side of our product line. Now that we've taken a look at our flush mount albums, I'd like to take you on the other end of the spectrum and give you a look at our press printed products. First, we're going to start off with our perfect bound books. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at what a perfect bound book is. Now, our perfect bound books come in a variety of sizes, such as this 5.5x7. I'm going to show you some of the pages inside and the UV coating, and also we're going to highlight some work by one of our local talents, Da Vinci Fine Portraiture. Now, of course, with this UV coating on the pages, it helps protect them, but it also helps give it a little extra pop when you look at the appearance of the book itself, which definitely helps lend to the presentation. Of course, with the thinner magazine-style pages, makes it lightweight and easy to carry. And also with that, it gives it a better price point, just depending on the kind of clients you're dealing with and the kind of subject matter that you're shooting. We also have this book encased in a photo wrap, which again lends to a lot of versatility in the kind of covers you can make, because with the photo wrap, you can be as creative as you like and whatever you like to put on that photo wrap itself. Now, in addition to the 5.5x7 size, we also allow you to go down to a 4x5, 5x4, but also up to larger sizes, going to 10x10, and even really big sizes such as our 14x11. Now, this book right here 14 by 11 perfect bound with a cinnamon weave cover and a metal cameo is going to highlight work by one Miss Mary Bassnight. And of course, when you really see these big pages and all their 14 by 11, or I should say 28 by 11 UV coated glory really come across a great presentation. Allows you to really get a feel of what a perfect bound can do. Again, this is highlighting a wedding. Normally we see a lot of these books for other kind of work, such as, again, seniors, kids, things like that. But when you go up to the bigger sizes, you can do some pretty spectacular things with a perfect bound book. So again, a lot of variety. And also when it comes to the covers themselves, again, I've shown you a photo wrap and a G1 cover material. With the perfect bound books, because the boards are thinner from our other books, this will allow you to actually mainly use G1 and G2 cover materials, which would be our more animal-friendly materials, are pretty much what the perfect bound will roll with. So with that being said, now I'd like to highlight for you the difference between this press print book, the perfect bound, and our other press print book, the linear bound. So we've looked over the perfect bound book and the flush mount. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and dive into the details of our linear bound product line and let you know the differences and the ins and outs of that particular product. Now this 8x8 linear bound book is a dual-tone book that has our G4 pearl leather, but also our G4 cocoa leather as well. Great combination. This is one of the best feeling books that you can find here at Forbeyon with the combination of these two materials. And of course it's also topped off by a metal cameo. Now, one of the great things about the linear bound books is that it's really, well, it's our hybrid product. It has the press printed paper that a perfect bound has, so it's not photographic, but it is printed on the HP Indigo, but on a thicker stock, and then it's mounted similar to the way a flush mount is. So you've got a archival board in between that's mounted by two pieces of, well, in this case, gloss paper. So, and of course, again, we're highlighting work by one Mr. Mark Williams. Now, some other things that you see with linear bound books is the fact that you have three different paper types. Here, of course, as I mentioned before, we're looking at gloss paper, but also the fact that the linear bound book allows you to use all the cover materials that we offer similar to the way that they do with flush mounts. So we can go all the way from the G1 materials up through our G4 materials. Now, I'd like to show you, as best as I can, some of the different uses and paper types that we offer with the linear bound book. So aside from gloss, we also offer linen paper. Now this book is with a bronze carbon cover and a little bit of blue imprinting, and this book was printed on linen paper, and it has work featured by one Jenny Jimenez out of the Washington State area. Now this is a guest sign-in book, so with these particular books we don't recommend using UV coating, because that way you can use either a Sharpie or a ballpoint pen, and then you're then able to write on the pages. And a lot of people seem to like the linear bound books with linen paper in order to capture that best. So just another option that you have, again, or you can do a linear bound book with linen paper and UV coating just for the heck of it. And last but not least, we also offer linear bound books with pearl paper. And to show you that, I want to highlight again another book with the same layouts by Da Vinci Fine Portraiture. Again, photo wrap cover, again showing the diversity of the book, and the maximum size that we can do for linear bound books is 8 by 10. So if you're talking a 10 by 8 or a 10 by 10, that's not really the linear bound book's cup of tea. But it can give you some great prints and presentation by going with pearl paper, which kind of gives it a little extra pop, a little extra sparkle to the pages themselves, and that's one reason why we recommend possibly going with the upgraded pearl paper. I know we have a sample boudoir book in an 8 by 8 format that really seems to pop on the pearl paper. So just another option that you have when you're looking at the linear bound books. So again, with linear bound, you get all the cover materials you can use that you can with the flush mount, and three different paper types, gloss, linen, and pearl, and still thicker pages than you do with the perfect bound, but the press printed quality, aside from the photographic that you would find in the flush mount. So now that we've taken you through all three of our product selection, from the high-end flush mount album to the entry-level perfect bound books to our mid-tier linear bound books, if you have additional questions or inquiries, first you can go to our website at www.forbeyon.com under the products section. From there, you can find specific detailed views of the binding of each of our books to give you a better look and feel of how these books appear. From there, if you still have questions, we encourage you to give us a call at 1-800-540-1480 or simply shoot us an email at info@forbeyon.com. Once again, I'm Casey Smith with Forbeyon. I encourage you to join us next time for our next video tutorial series.